Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's absolutely crucial but often misunderstood: the emergency fund. You've probably heard the classic advice, right? Save 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. It sounds so simple, so responsible. It's the first financial safety net everyone tells you to build. But let's get real for a minute. In the real world, is that 3 to 6 month buffer truly enough? What happens when life throws a major curveball, not just a minor hiccup? Let's imagine a scenario. You've worked hard, you've diligently saved up, let's say 4 months worth of your expenses. You're feeling proud, secure, like you've finally got this adulting thing figured out. Then, one day, the unexpected happens. It's not a small car repair. It's a sudden, urgent trip to the emergency room for a loved one. You get the bill, and your heart sinks. That entire 4 month fund you so carefully built, it can vanish in a single transaction, gone, just like that. You're not just back to zero. You're now facing the terrifying prospect of going into debt just to cover the rest. Suddenly, that safety net feels more like a piece of string. This isn't to scare you, it's to have an honest conversation. The standard advice is a great starting point, a fantastic goal for someone just beginning their financial journey. But we need to acknowledge that for many of us, it's just that a start. Let's break down the real-world situations where that 3 to 6 month fund gets stress-tested to its absolute limit. First up, the big one: health. A single medical emergency can be financially devastating. One visit to the ER, a surprise surgery, or an unexpected diagnosis can generate bills that easily wipe out a modest emergency fund. You're left with a choice: your health or your savings. And let's be honest, that's not a choice anyone should have to make. What was meant to be a cushion for tough times becomes a down payment on a mountain of medical debt. Then there are calamities. If you live in an area prone to typhoons, floods, earthquakes, or wildfires, you know that disaster can strike with little to no warning. When it does, the expenses are immediate and overwhelming. You might need to evacuate, find temporary housing, repair significant damage to your home, or replace essential belongings. These aren't small, predictable costs. They are sudden, large, and non-negotiable. Your 3 month fund might cover the immediate aftermath, but what about the weeks or months of recovery that follow? It gets depleted fast, leaving you incredibly vulnerable when you're already dealing with immense stress. And of course, there's the professional side of things: job loss or income instability. In today's economy, job security isn't what it used to be. You could be a top performer one day and find your position eliminated the next due to restructuring or downsizing. Even a delay in your salary can send shockwaves through your budget. Imagine your paycheck is just one pay period late. For many, that alone is enough to trigger panic mode. Bills are still due, rent needs to be paid, and groceries need to be bought. Without a substantial buffer, the financial pressure becomes intense, almost instantly. So this brings us to a critical reality check. The 3 to 6 month emergency fund is a good rule of thumb on paper, but its effectiveness heavily depends on your personal circumstances. If you're single, have no dependents, and a stable job in a low-risk area, it might be perfectly adequate. It can cover a surprise car repair or a short-term income gap without much issue. However, the moment you add dependents into the mix, the game changes completely. If you are a breadwinner, the sole provider for your family, the weight of responsibility is so much heavier. You're not just supporting yourself. You're the financial backbone for your children, your spouse, maybe even your aging parents. In this case, a 3 to 6 month fund is a very thin layer of protection. A single crisis affecting any member of your family could wipe it out, for breadwinners and also for freelancers or those with variable incomes. Aiming for a 6 to 12 month emergency fund is a much safer, more realistic goal. It provides a longer runway to find a new job, recover from an illness, or rebuild after a disaster without the immediate, crushing pressure of financial ruin. It buys you time, and when you're in a crisis, time is one of the most valuable assets you can have. Now, let's talk about the unicorn level, the 12+ month emergency fund. This is the stuff of financial legend. It's rare to see, but for those who can achieve it, it offers an unparalleled level of peace of mind. This isn't about being paranoid, it's about being profoundly prepared. People with this level of savings can navigate almost any storm or prolonged recession. A career change, a sabbatical to care for a family member without derailing their long-term financial goals. It's the ultimate financial freedom, the ability to make decisions based on what's best for your life, not just what's dictated by your immediate financial situation. So, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself some tough questions. Be honest. If your income stopped tomorrow, right now, how long could you truly last? Would you be secure for months, or would you be scrambling within weeks, or even days? What is the scenario that keeps you up at night? Is it the thought of a massive hospital bill, the fear of your home being damaged by a natural disaster, or the anxiety of losing your job and having no income? Understanding your biggest financial fear is the first step to preparing for it. Building a larger emergency fund can feel like a monumental task, especially when you're already stretched thin. But it's about making small, consistent progress. It's also about getting creative and smart with your money. So, what are some practical strategies that actually work? Forget the generic advice you've heard 100 times. Let's talk about real-life hacks. One of the most effective strategies is to automate your savings. Treat your emergency fund contribution like a non-negotiable bill. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to a separate high-yield savings account the day you get paid. Even if it's a small amount to start, that consistency builds momentum. Out of sight, out of mind. You'll be surprised how quickly it adds up when you're not tempted to spend it. Another powerful tip is to dedicate any windfall money directly to your emergency fund. This includes tax refunds, work bonuses, cash gifts, or money you made from selling something you no longer need. Instead of seeing this as fun money, reframe it as freedom money. Every dollar you add to your emergency fund is another brick in your wall of financial security. It's also crucial to regularly review your expenses and look for discard or clever, thrifty hacks. This isn't about depriving yourself of everything you enjoy. It's about being intentional. Can you negotiate a better rate on your internet bill? Can you plan your meals to reduce food waste and grocery costs? Can you find free community events for entertainment instead of expensive outings? These small adjustments, when practiced consistently, can free up a surprising amount of cash that can be redirected to your savings. Think of it this way: every dollar saved is a moment of future peace purchased. It's not about restriction, it's about empowerment. The goal isn't just to survive an emergency, but to be able to handle it with resilience and grace without sacrificing your future. Your emergency fund is more than just money in a bank account. It's peace of mind. It's the freedom to walk away from a toxic job. It's the ability to say yes to taking care of a sick family member without worrying about the cost. It's your first and most important investment in yourself and your family. So, what's your story? How are you approaching your emergency fund? Do you have any amazing saving hacks that have worked wonders for you? Share them in the comments below. Your tip might be the one that helps someone else finally start building their own safety net. Let's learn from each other and build a stronger, more financially resilient community together. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of this important conversation. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future discussions. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next video.